Okay, hi everybody. I am here to present Spin It, Repurposing Kids' Goods with Love. And who am I? I'm Juliana. I am a junior UX UI designer. I'm Brazilian. I am artsy. I'm a perfectionist, and I like to shop. It's fun. So I'm going to talk about the context, research and analysis, and walk through the iteration phase. The main problem that I'm looking at is that there's a substantial waste coming from old children's toys and goods not being disposed of correctly. 90% of kids' toys are actually made out of plastic that aren't recyclable. And parents spend a lot of money multiple times a year on children's goods, which they grow out of quickly, so a lot of waste. The objectives are to motivate parents to adopt the habit of properly disposing their children's outgrown goods, create opportunities to recover some money spent on kids, and facilitate the process of donating goods to charity. So we believe that we can motivate busy working parents to properly dispose of their kids' outgrown goods by providing a quick and easy uploading system on a resale donations app, and we also believe that we can achieve a differentiation from our competitors by providing more flexible shipping and delivery options where customers will not need to worry about picking up goods at people's houses and walking up to a total stranger. The business metrics will be measured by the time spent on the app, number of purchases, number of enrollments, number of downloads, and the amount of goods we receive to dropship. So this is the market analysis. I was looking at some of the main competitors, where they more or less stand, and where we would like to be, which is over here, with the rest of the crowd. And we want to be innovative, useful, current, accessible, and convenient. This was an extensive features analysis that I did, and I wanted to focus on the main opportunities, which is the shipping availability, the user-friendly listing process, quality control description, and exclusively focus on children's goods, because a lot of these apps, guess what? They sell everything, not just children's goods. So I conducted a few surveys. I collected 130 responses. 25.4% of respondents sell their children's goods via an app. 71.3% actually prefer to donate, and 26.4% spend an average of about $50 to $100 per month on kids' clothes. So that's a lot of money throughout the year. I ran 8 interviews. Some of the main things that they said were that they never really sold anything, or the biggest problem was that they would try to sell it through one of these apps, and people just didn't show up to pick up the goods. So no commitment from the buyer at all. So as a result, main concerns are price, time, which is like disposition and will to dispose of their stuff, and transparency. That's me working. So who are we trying to reach? We want to reach busy working parents, mothers specifically, and tech-savvy parents. We want to design for Apple, and we are doing it during a 2-week sprint. So a persona is basically a representation of a type of customer, and mine is Naomi Parker. She's like the busy working mother. And she lives in Boston. She's 32. She has 2 kids, so she deals with like season changes and all that. Her main problems and concerns is that she spends a lot of money on her kids, buying like in bulk 2 to 3 times a year for them, and she doesn't really have a lot of time to spare to plan, and she also has a hard time trusting any resale app that she knows. So this is her user journey, kind of like what she goes through whenever she's trying to dispose of all of her kids' stuff. And these are some of the main low points that she has. So in other words, she has a lot of accumulated goods in her home. She has no time to kind of sort and deal with them. And she has gone through all these other apps, and it's really complicated to sell anything. And sometimes the items just don't sell. So I ran a Moscow analysis, and I came up with the must-haves, the most important things. And the MVP is a facilitated 3-step listing process and ability to dropship goods. So this is the lo-fi that I developed, many slides. And I compared it to the mid-fi. I ran 5 usability tests. And the main concern here was minor things like a drop list, kind of to facilitate it for users. Moving on to some visual elements. I did a visual competitor analysis looking at the 3 biggest competitors, Facebook, eBay, and Amazon. I looked at their color palettes, their fonts, their buttons, and how they look and they feel. That's my mood board. So I wanted to convey youth, so young, fun, friendly, and reliable. And from there, I developed a style tile, which I basically defined other things like the buttons and the fonts. I ran 6 desirability interviews. Most of the people liked what they saw. They liked the colors. And I only had like 20% of testers had minor constructive feedback. So these were some of the feedbacks they gave me. So qualitative data. Basically, like one of the images they said didn't really match the rest. And this is the style guide that really defines most of the elements that are going into the app. I used the atomic design method to kind of come up with this. And this is already comparing the mid-fi to the hi-fi. I did 5 usability tests. Like 75% of people thought that on my main like shop page, the drop shipment button should be at the top. So it's easier and more convenient for people to push it. And 50% wanted to see an actual login page, which kind of was forgotten on the mid-fi. So, and this is also another big thing, is that at first I started with people, with like the company coming to pick up the goods at people's houses, but that's really limiting, and I wanted to be more national. So I changed it for the user shipping the goods to the company, and then we ship it for you whenever a sale is made. And so here it is, the proto. So loading page, and then a little onboarding, so sort, list, and then the hassle-free shipping options, do something good, so talking about donations, and then you log in. Login page. Guess what? You can log in through there or through Facebook or other social media. Yes, trying to be convenient. So this is like a little marketplace where you can see what other people are selling, and then you just add your product, go through this 3-step process. So take multiple angle pictures. So you're selling a stroller. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then here you just put the details. So step 2 and 3. And then you post. And then you go back to your shop. And this is your shop. So all the categories. You drop ship. Select all, because you want to drop ship everything that you have. These are all the items you listed. And here you have like a little comparison of prices, like how much it would cost for you to drop ship with us versus you doing it yourself, you actually shipping everything. I mean, it is cheaper, but much less convenient, you know? So do it with us. So then from here, you just print your label, and that's it. That's the happy path. Go back here. Okay. So next steps. So prep micro interactions on Flinto, make adjustments to the hi-fi because I did test it, so I just need to actually put it into practice now. Develop the other things like the menu options, the favorites page, any other page that is non-existent at the moment. And I learned a lot. I learned to manage my time, I learned to plan in advance, and listen to the user, trust my research, believe in myself. Thanks.